All right. My second interview with Neal Flesher, the author of 2 books in the past few months. At least that's when they were published. I'm sure that they weren't written in a month. I know the second book was written in weeks
Yeah, the second book.
because you. I'm going to ask you about that if I remember, if I think about it. But anyway, this is Neal Flesher. You can see him on the screen. Neal's out in Texas. And I had him on. If you go into the archive, you can see the first interview I did with him. I had just met him on Telegram. I saw him. I met him. I saw a post he put on Telegram, and we quickly hit it off. He shared his book with me. I read it, the first book, and loved it. And then I had him on for a live stream, and we've been talking back and forth, chatting online on Nostr, Primal's client, built on top of the first social media protocol that appears to be effective and functional, called Nostr. So he and I talk on there all the time. So Neal, thanks so much for taking time to be with me.
Yeah, no, thanks for having me. It's always fun.
So you've been doing the podcast circuit since the last time we talked. How's that going?
Pretty good. Got a couple bigger ones, got a couple smaller ones, but I just take advantage of every opportunity I can get to hone the craft of spreading the message in an articulable manner.
Yeah. So today, you've agreed today to let me probe a little bit on your personal and professional background. You grew up in, you said Hays, Kansas. So
Yeah.
how many people in Hays, Kansas?
Population-wise? Growing up, I would say there's probably like 20,000, and then like there's the college. There's like a Division II college there that has about 10,000 people. So it's like, it's growing a lot now. So I don't know how many people it has now, but I mean, like 40,000 people is a big metropolis in Western Kansas. So.
Okay. So I think of Kansas as farmland, kind of, very, very agricultural oriented. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's accurate. I mean, I say most of the economy is, farming or oil, or, it's people are producing stuff, agriculture.
So your family, brothers and sisters, big family, small family?
I mean, I'm the oldest. I got a younger brother and a younger sister. I mean, like my mom comes from a huge farm family. Like they, my dad's one of 4. So it's like today that's a big family. Most people have 1 or 2 kids and that's it. But
yeah. And then you proceeded up. You grew up in that one town. Your parents weren't moving all over the place, or?
Yep. Yeah, pretty much. That's my entire childhood I can remember.
Okay. Yeah. And then you enrolled in the Army as a young adult, I would assume. How old were you when you went in? You went in as a grunt, right? You went in enlisted.
Yeah. So I enlisted. Was I 19, 20 years old? Yeah. And I mean, basically the idea was just I knew I needed to go to college to have a good life, right? You have to do that, right? That's the way. It's the way to earn prosperity. And I needed a way to pay for college. So I was like, I'll go enlist and use the GI Bill, like go do my time, use the GI Bill to go back to school when I get out. That was the plan. And then college kind of fell into my lap while I was in, and I decided to take it and run with it. So,
how many years enlisted in the Army?
So it would have been a total of 3.
Okay. And so I see I've got a couple viewers on YouTube or somewhere. I'm live streaming this to YouTube, Twitter, and to michaelheath.tv. I don't think I would be seeing numbers for viewers on michaelheath.tv, but I might be seeing numbers for viewers on Twitter on X or YouTube. So If you want to comment, I think you can, and I'll see them. And if you want to ask a question of Neal or of me, you can feel free to pop in any time. So 3 years enlisted, and you must have turned some heads during your enlistment because you were offered, I guess, West Point.
Yeah. I got the opportunity to go apply. They basically the Army, big Army, saw my little ASVAB scores and how well I did, and that with like how well my command thought of me for just being a good soldier. Um, you know, got a letter in the mail saying that I should apply. I would be a good candidate. So then went and talked to my command, and they agreed, and went and put the packet in, and that was that. So.
You were accepted to West Point, and so was that 4 years?
Yeah, it's West Point's it's just a 4-year undergrad. Like any normal college, but you got all the military leadership stuff on top, so it's nothing like a normal college experience. But
and it's also prestigious. I mean, I think it's recognized globally as one of the best, if not the best, military colleges in the world, right?
Well, yeah, of course, I'd have to say it's the best military college, that's for sure. But it's no, it does have I mean, it has history, and it carries that history in the moment, in the present.
So you go in at 19, and you're leaving Hayes, Kansas, this relatively small town in the plains of middle America, and you, in just 3 years, turn enough heads to get the letter, the invite, and then the support from your command. You weren't singled out by political forces. You earned your path from within the Army into West Point. And then was it during West Point that you were able to move toward piloting the most iconic attack helicopter on Earth, or not?
Yeah. So I mean, the way that they do branching at West Point is it's all just class, your class rank. So the Army has so many jobs, slots that they have, positions that they need to fill, and they're all available. And the top guy, top girl, whatever, top cadet gets to go pick what they want, and then the next, and the next, and the next, and the next. So, I think there was maybe 120 slots for aviation. So like typically you have to be higher up in your class to ensure that you wanted it. So I don't know. It was kind of weird. Like I think probably my second year there, I really decided like I wanted to go for aviation, because like that was the first thing I remember as a little kid. I like saw a helicopter fly over, probably like a National Guard, flight or something like that, and you just like look up and you're like, whoa, like that's cool. And like I don't know, it was just like the opportunity to be able to pursue the first thing you ever thought about doing. It just seemed like it was too good of an opportunity to like not to try to take. So that's when I like decided like, okay, I'm gonna really make sure I do well so I can get an aviation slot. And I snuck into the top quarter of the class, and I was able to secure a slot.
So you were able to secure a slot in Army aviation.
Yeah.
And then how did you, so did you end up were you in the driver's seat of, what is it, the Apache, or which helicopter?
The Apache has it's a 2-seat helicopter in your front seat or your back seat or whatever. They both fly. You can fly from both, but the gunner is in the front. Like they have all the nifty little optics and stuff systems in the helicopter. So the backseater is typically like the more experienced pilot, but you fly both seats and you can do most things from both seats. But
so you landed a seat, either front or back. I guess it
you repeat the same thing in flight school. So everyone starts, again, the same. you go through flight school, getting through all the flying the little training helicopters, and then you pick your aircraft. So the top guy gets to pick. They only have because it changes, ebb and flows, the needs of the Army. Like maybe they need a lot of Blackhawks, so there's like one Chinook and one Apache, and everything else is Blackhawk, or maybe it's flipped around or whatever. So it changes class to class on what's available. But I think we had like 2 Chinook seats, and then it was basically an even split between Blackhawks and Apaches for me. But I had the choice, picked an Apache.
My sense would be that the Apache would be like the Top Gun aircraft, the Top Gun platform, right? Am I wrong? Or is it the Chinook or the other one, whatever the other one you mentioned?
Yeah, so I mean, the Chinook just is like a big, cargo, transporting troops, transporting materials. But like, it's weird how like scarcity and prestige kind of like play in with people's psychology. Because like when I was in flight school, like everyone, you said, "Oh, I'm gonna go Chinooks." Like that's what people would say because there were so few slots. So it was like a status. It was like, "Oh yeah, I think I'm so good. I'm at the top that I'm gonna actually when there's one slot, I'm gonna get it because like I'm at the top." So I don't know. It changes class to class.
But the the point of the spear for helicopters in the Army, would that be the Apache or would that be the Black Hawk or you just said the Chinook is more.
They have different missions, So like the attack helicopter. I mean, that's what it does. Recon. It does attack. Black Hawks don't do that. Chinooks don't do that, but they have different roles.
Okay, so the Apache is what I think of it as. It's the platform that's going to be the most likely to put you in harm's way. Is that fair?
Probably not. I mean, like the medevac people, they're flying in, to a hot LZ. Like, I mean, harm's way is it's very mission dependent. But
it would be typical then for you to be ordered in an Apache to fly behind enemy lines doing recon. You said it's a recon.
Yeah, if those are the missions, those type of missions, you'd be there, or escorting security, or overwatch for protecting people on the ground.
And so then you went beyond it. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, you went beyond just sitting in the seat to commanding an Apache group. Is that the right word? Whatever, squadron.
Yeah, so like as you go up through the the ranks, and you're a lieutenant, you're a platoon leader, and then like eventually you take command like as a captain, and you have a company. So then you're in charge. Like as a platoon leader, you basically have 4 aircraft you're responsible for. About. And then,
wow. Yeah. How many?
How many? You got 8, 9, whatever. So.
So here you are in your late 20s, responsible for how many millions of dollars worth of technology?
Lot. Yeah. The hand receipt's quite. What you sign at the bottom of the hand receipt, it's got a big number on it. But
yeah,
at the end of the day, though, that's all just government funny money. So.
Yeah, and we're going to get to that. So what was your sort of iconic Hollywood moment, if you had one, in one of those 2 seats in the Apache helicopter?
Oh, I don't know if it have any like nothing really comes to mind like an iconic like crazy thing. I mean, I don't know. I'm not really too much one like I don't really care too much about all the war stories and that stuff. But it's I don't know. It's
the rest of us. The rest of us plebes do care about that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
we like heroes like you. I mean, you're a hero. Just you don't have to share about anything that happened while you were in the seat of one of those helicopters. But what I can guarantee you is that every single person who's viewing this right now would love to hear one of those stories, because the most dramatic thing that can happen to human beings is to be under orders in a combat situation and to be putting your life at risk. I don't like the fact that war involves killing someone else's dad, but it is what it is. War is what it is, and it is very, very dramatic. And one of the most dramatic elements of warfare is aviation, and one of the most dramatic areas of aviation and military combat is an Apache helicopter, Neal. So forgive me for, wanting to hear. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying, right?
Yeah, no, I understand. I was like to kind of to wax a little on the principles that you're kind of pointing at. Like, yes, the thing with war is that you really have to come to grip with your mortality. Like what it means to be alive, what it means to die. Like you have to wrestle with that, and I'm very blessed that I had to do that young, because I think that will help me out. I mean, it's helped give me perspective through every kind of chapter of my life. Like how I relate to my children, knowing that I'm going to die, knowing that I'm at peace with that, knowing what my life means to that end. It's like it really, really helps you out. And like I see a lot of older people, my relatives, the older people in my lives, it's like it is a struggle to come to grip with your mortality, and it's like the test we're all studying for, and it's kind of like there's really no excuse to get to the end and not be prepared.
So I'm not going to be able to draw out of you that story about night flying with your goggles behind enemy line. You know what I mean? I'm not going to be able to get that story. I guess it's okay.
That's
good.
All right. No.
And regarding mortality, I never served. I kind of regret never serving, but I came of age to serve in the late 70s, and that was Vietnam era. Coming out of Vietnam, and not an excuse. I mean, I wish I'd served, but I did get to grapple with my own morality in the context of war, because 2 of my sons went infantry Marine Corps and ended up in the Middle East. So I can tell you from the perspective of being a father of infantrymen, that I did business with not just my mortality, but the mortality of my 2 sons, and also with the idea that they would be put under orders in a position where they'd have to kill someone else's dad. And so I thought about that a lot when they decided to enlist. So I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, when you're over there, the thing is like you're already in it, and at that point, everything you're doing is for the guy to your left and right. Like you're there as a unit, you're there together, and you rely on each other. Like that kind of flips everything. Like that's what drives, everyone's actions is that bond together.
So you served our country honorably and heroically for 14 years. Now, it's my understanding you can retire with a full package at 20 years. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, so they've changed. They have a different kind of I don't know if you can still even do it. They were phasing it out, the 20-year pension, when I was going through. Now they have kind of like a 401k match type of thing, because basically a lot of people were getting out, with 6-7 years and having nothing to show for it as far as like retirement goes. So that was a thing that the military did to kind of give people options to where if they couldn't do a full 20, that they weren't just left with no retirement at all. Okay. So they got a 401k thing. So
it seems to me you're sitting pretty within the Army, flying the most iconic attack helicopter in the world. Why'd you stop? Why'd you get out?
I got out for my family. So I met my wife at West Point. So we were both in the military. I mean, we spent the first 4 years of our marriage apart, at different duty stations. So
Yep.
it was kind of that the dual military life was very hard. And when we finally got posted together and we had our first child, it just kind of was like, all right, we can't do this. Like, we can't do the dual military thing. And like, if we had to get separated, like, just, that's not what we wanted for our family. Like, our family came first. And so like, I got out so that we could not have to do the dual military thing anymore.
And so then you went to you went beyond West Point, right? To
Yeah.
Where'd you go? Where'd you go to college?
Holy Apostles.
Holy
It's
Apostles. And you obtained what? A master's, a PhD? What'd you get?
no, yeah, just a master's in philosophy.
Okay,
And
master's in philosophy. Was it during those years that you developed? Was it during those years or your military years where you developed an interest in economics, specifically Bitcoin? When did that happen?
That's after graduation. And,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So basically, I studied philosophy at West Point. And then getting out, I went back to do more because I love it. And I don't know. I didn't know what to do with, like, people are like, well, what are you going to do with that? You know? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I just knew that was the direction to go. Like, I needed to study this. I needed to sharpen my mind and empower myself to be able to critically think and ground my thought to truth, and do it in a like, not just like a rhetorical way where you say some cliche that's true but you don't know why. I wanted to be able to follow the why and anchor it into metaphysical bedrock. Like, that's kind of that was the idea. And that's what so impressed me with your first book, was your ability to anchor your argument, to always bring your argument back to that bedrock of metaphysics and philosophy, and then to be able to apply that intellectual construct, that method of reasoning, to Bitcoin. I mean, I'm reading the beginning of your book, which isn't about Bitcoin so much as it is about a critique of modern economics. Helping your reader to gain a sort of broad picture, ethical, moral understanding of the economic system that we live in today. That's kind of the beginning of your book, and then it ends with this very powerful argument for Bitcoin as money, not just money, but the world's first truly Aristotelian money, the money that satisfies all of Aristotle's. Did I get that right? It satisfies all of Aristotle's. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's the first true money in a sense, but it's like, it's the first fully ethical. It's maximally ethical. Like, that's the whole point of why I'm a Bitcoin maximalist, is because I recognize the power of Bitcoin, like its potency as money, like as a monetary object. Like, what?
So okay, I want to understand that. This is important. So I'm wrong in saying that it satisfies, what is it, 6 characteristics of money that Aristotle observed and articulated? Is that right? Or was it 6?
I mean, he talks about the 3 functions, like
functions, okay,
which is just like medium of exchange, store of value, unit of account. Like, that's what money does. So anything that's like any object that you're using between people, if people are exchanging an object to transfer value between each other, like, that's money. Like, the act of people exchanging an object for value, like, that's what creates money. That's what brings money into existence. So it's like anything's money, like, if people are using it as money. Like, it's kind of it's not an ontology. It's not like, it's literally, money is a real thing, or it's not a tautology. Like, it's not just a circular thing. Like, people are creating it. Like, money is a human subjectively created thing. If all the people went away, there's not just like money floating around in the world, like we have to bring it into existence. But yeah. So it's like, it just kind of, it goes from this like idea of like anything can be money. Okay, well, true. That's technically true. Like anything people are exchanging can be used as money, but like not all monies are created equal. Like the object that is being used has powers, has different potential to serve those functions. And so you kind of get this natural hierarchy of, in the, like steel is stronger than iron. It's like, it's a different material object that's put into this form that functions better as a sword than the bronze. So it's like when you differentiate between the object and then like its function and the value that function brings to people, that it's like, that's kind of what so it's like Bitcoin is this super powerful monetary object, and you can go and list infinite number of properties, measurables, like how, like anything that you can measure is like a potency, it's a power. So when you measure it up and you stack it up against everything else, like its strengths and weaknesses and all that, it's just like, it's maximally powerful. So it's like, even if if you were to theoretically come up with a better monetary object, you couldn't beat it. You could only maybe, and you would like tie it, because if you wanted to say, this kind of gets a little crazier with it, like there's trade-offs and stuff, but like, if you wanted to say theoretically, what could Bitcoin be better at? And you're like, oh, well, it's faster, or it's this, or like those are measurables, and it gives it the power of money, but like those are just almost like accidents of it, of its being. Like the thing that makes it those three primary functions, like that's kind of what you're, sorry, kind of going all over the place now, trying to bring it back. It's just that idea that like,
what are those three primary functions again? Can you repeat those again?
So it's a medium of exchange. That's the essence of money, the act of people exchanging the thing. That presupposes that there's value inside the object to be exchanged. And in the act of exchange, there's a price. So I'm giving you this gold nugget for, a cow or whatever. Like just in that act of exchange, all three of those things occur. Like when we exchange the goods through that object, or the value through that object, like all three of those things are happening simultaneously. And the extent that that those happen, like how fast, how this, like those are different things that you can come in and talk about. But I don't know. I didn't come to Bitcoin until like I understood the problems with our monetary system, if that makes sense. Like I studied philosophy, got my master's, and that's even when I started looking and paying attention to economics and starting to try to understand and learn about what our monetary system actually is. And it's from that understanding it and understanding its weaknesses, it would just say how evil it is. Like when that hits you, that it's like this monetary system's actually evil. It makes no, it's logically invalid. Like it relies on accepting.
And what you're talking about is the dollar monetary system, right? That was created by the Fed in 1913. When you use the word evil, that's what you're referencing. Is that right?
So it's evil because the monetary system, the fiat dollar, right? The only way that this system stays afloat is through the constant expansion of the money supply. So in principle, they will always have to print more money to create more money from nothing, right? So that's the whole thing. When back in like 1913 or whatever, when they still loosely tied it to a gold or something real, like they couldn't just print money from nothing. They had to go get more gold. They had to go get, they had to exist in economic reality. They had to, the monetary policy was grounded in some type of reality. The problem is that the way the system worked and gold's so heavy, and like when you're trying to use it on this global, reserve currency, as this, it makes this, it injects a huge amount of trust. You have to trust the bankers. You have to trust the people that they actually have the gold. I'm holding up a paper dollar that represents gold. It's like, well, you're trusting that that gold's actually there, that it's backed by that. And that trust is what opens up this huge window for corruption. And like, so even though it's like the proof's in the pudding, like people, from the 1913 up to 71 they didn't trust that the gold was there. They say, hey, the different countries or what, like they're all thinking, hey, I think you're printing these dollars and not having the gold that you said is going to back it up, and then in a weird way in 71, when we just break off of it entirely, we say the joke's up, we actually don't have any, we're not even going to back it anymore. It's now just what we say it is. We're now on a completely fiat standard. It's like before they had to at least play some charades or some type of game to make people to keep the deceit, to keep the fraud, under the table. Well, now there's no reason for a table because it's not backed by anything, and they just print it. They can create the money whenever, for whatever reason, and it's just like there's no charade anymore. It's just out in the open that fiat can just be created and injected into the economy. And the way that the economy is set, since it has to be the way that the dollars are lent into existence at interest and all this usurious stuff, that necessitates the constant expansion of the money supply. So that's why when you get into the economics and you're looking at the graphs and all this stuff, like the money supply is always rising, and they'll say, oh, we're creating more value. It's like, but it's not tethered to anything. You have to create more to keep it afloat, to keep the bubble up. And the act of expanding the money supply from nothing, like that defies logic. That's a contradiction. But the act of that, it means it's extracting the value that is already in those monetary objects. It's extracting that value, that real value, out of those monetary objects. And like that's what, and it clicked for me that like that extraction is the formal definition of slavery. The extraction of work.
And that's a major thesis in your book. You come right out of the gate toward the beginning, making that argument, and I found that very, very novel and interesting. So Bitcoin it's not possible with Bitcoin because of how it's structured. It's coded. It's how it works according to its computer code.
It's immutable. It's a mutable protocol. Like those parameters don't change. Like to change them would be to fork off, to break off, and then you're doing your own thing. So like the main chain, like Bitcoin, it cannot change. And if you change it, you are exiting Bitcoin. You are creating something new, something different.
And I find, since I've read your book, I'm fascinated by. I'm more fascinated by all of this than anything I've encountered besides God and Jesus Christ in my entire life. I'm more fascinated about this because Bitcoin, the blockchain, the white paper, Satoshi Nakamoto, the current sort of culture of Bitcoin. For example, the fight that's going on right now between Bitcoin Knots and Bitcoin Core, and it's a fight over CSAM, which is child sexual abuse material being injected into the blockchain, the Bitcoin blockchain. And there's this immense battle that has broken out to protect the blockchain, to basically keep the blockchain limited in function. Correct me if I'm using inaccurate words here, but to limit the Bitcoin blockchain in function to being currency, being money, serving as money, and to not become a repository for anything else, for any other kind of material. Is that kind of an accurate distillation of the current fight going on between the Bitcoin core devs and guys like Matthew Kratter at Bitcoin University?
Yeah, I mean, people are arguing about whether or not what goes on it, and the core people are saying, hey, any valid data is valid and is fine, and if as long as it is within the protocol rules and it can go in there, it can go in. They pay their fee, they pay their transaction fees, and it's valid data, so it can go in. There's like, I don't know. I hate the debate in a lot of ways, because it's just like you do, like, I don't have any I don't understand how the changes that they're proposing in version 30 core help me at all. I have not heard anyone be able to articulate how that benefits me. So
Right.
I don't want the changes because it doesn't benefit me at all. That's me. So for my node,
Right.
I'm not going to be running version 30 because I don't understand how it helps me. And I could be stupid. I could be retarded. That's fine. That's not on, like, I'm going to do what's
Right.
like, that's the whole thing in Bitcoin is all of our interests are aligned to one end. Like, that's the whole point of Bitcoin is it arranges it aligns interests of individuals to a common point. And
Mm-hmm.
when people are, when we have this divergence, it's like, run whatever node you think is better for you. Like, if you're a
Mm-hmm.
shitcoiner and you want to, put all this, non-monetary stuff onto the chain. I mean, I can't change Bitcoin. That's kind of the feature,
Mm-hmm.
and if there's changes that can happen within what node software you're running, well, you go ahead and run it. Like, I can't stop that. So I don't get worked up about it. Like, I'm just going to do what I'm going to use Bitcoin, how it functions for me and what how it serves my interests. And, I don't know. I don't know. It's very much drama-y, and it just seems like a
Right.
waste of my energy. Like,
Right.
I
Right.
don't know
Right.
all that stuff.
Yeah, I think I agree with you, except that Matthew Kratter made a point which I don't see that there's any good counter argument to it, which, if true, means that the Bitcoin blockchain could become illegal if it is a repository of porn, of pedophilia, CSAM, child
Yeah.
sexual adult material, whatever that stands for. It's because governments are passing laws and yada yada yada. So, and this change would, according to him, Kratter, allow images like that to be placed, integrated, injected into the blockchain. And it almost feels like an intelligence op run at the government level to destroy the blockchain. No?
Yeah.
Or yes?
So that is an attack vector. I totally agree with that. Like, that could be a thing.
Yeah.
I guess my point, I guess I'm so comfortable with the idea that this is a fight, that this is conflict, that I completely expect casualties. I completely like, war sucks, and if that's what happens and the government says, someone put some CSAM on the blockchain and da 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 da, whatever, like, am I just going to stop using Bitcoin? Am I just going to, sorry, the government said I can't do this? Like, no, like, that's not what's going to happen. Like, you're not going to take Bitcoin from me. This is,
Mm-hmm.
it's beyond the government. So if they're going to try to squash it out and make it harder for people, it's like, well, that's when you got to look at yourself in the mirror. It's like, what are you here for? Are you here just to, I don't know. I guess I'm okay with whatever is going to be coming, and we'll deal with it. Like, I'm focusing on what I can do, and I can run my node, and I can, I contribute what I can to the fight.
So you're running. So you're running knots, right?
So I haven't gotten it. I haven't I just
Or-
haven't had time to swap over to knots. I'm running an old version of core, and I won't be updating it
yeah. So
because even that would
uh,
take time. Like,
right. So with core, then you can't filter it down to 40 bits, right, or whatever it is. Is that right? You can't. There's no filtering capability for the mempool for
well,
the
I think if I understand it correctly, right now you can change it, and
okay.
but version 30 is removing that ability to do that.
All right. So then, how do you have your mempool set up right now with respect to op returns?
Right now, like I haven't configured it in any special way. It's just like
Okay.
version 27 or 28 or whatever
All right.
whatever the default settings were. Like
Right, because with version 30, they're making the change that allows it to go up to 100,000 bit,
100,000. Yeah.
bits, kilobits or whatever. Okay, cool. Well, see, I brought all this up to expose that Bitcoin is very alive. It's very real. It's a
It
very
is.
real. It's very much alive. It's not like this set in concrete. It is a protocol, but it's not this set in concrete code base or software or whatever that isn't dynamic. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's so that's the beautiful thing about, so when you understand how it's immutable in the sense that like I said, you could go change it. You could go copy paste the code, add one extra little like line or whatever to make it, Michael coin, and you could go run that, and that's fine. It's just no one would be on it. It would just be you, like, and that's not really helpful. So it's just like everyone's incentive is even on the core side. Like, even if you don't agree with their position, like, I mean, unless you're talking about the an outsider trying to destroy Bitcoin, which I anticipate those attacks will be coming. It's when you swing at central banking and fiat, like, you best hit, and that's kind of they're going to fight back. Like, I understand that, but I don't know. I think the people that truly just think that version 30 is good, it's like they want what's best for Bitcoin, and I want what's best for Bitcoin. So we're still aligned in that sense. So
Yeah.
with those people, I think that that friction is good. And
Yeah.
I mean, at the end of the day, like,
Me too.
the free do we trust the free market or not? Like, that's kind of like it comes back to my thing is like, it's going to come out, and then we're going to see how big of a share it is, how many people actually switch or don't switch, and then based on that, it's based on the effects, like the casualties or the lack of casualties that we take on the ground. Like, that's how you have to be on your toes, so like, it's going to come out, something's going to happen or nothing's going to happen. And with that new intel, with that new data, then how are we going to continue to act? How are we going to Bitcoin? Those are the questions and the conversations that the community is having. I don't like to weigh in totally on this stuff, because there's a lot of stuff I don't know, but I know principles. So I'm getting down to the principles. I've listened to a lot of the core arguments. Try to steelman them, try to put it to the best thing. Like, the bad actor thing is probably the worst take, if you're trying to plan for the most dangerous course of action. Like, yeah, an outside intel agency trying to destroy Bitcoin through that attack vector, it's like, that's real and a possibility. I don't necessarily think that it will kill it, like, because like, there it goes back to like laws and how they're going to classify things. And it's like, that data, like, what is data? What is an image? What is all these things? Like, if it's encrypted and it's in a thing and you need to, like,
it's a good point.
That's a technical craziness. Like, I don't know that, but to me, it's like, well, what's the essence of these things? And it's like, just because the material is in a place that someone could then take out and reconfigure to create, create something bad. It's like, or
Yeah.
if maybe that's the place that you fight it. You know, you say like, this actually isn't even it. Like, you could say that's data and it's malicious data or this or that, but like, I don't know, is it really CSAM? Well, according to some law, according to some judge's interpretation, it is, or it isn't. It's like, okay, well, that's where the fight is.
Yep.
You know?
Yep. No, those are great points. And I'm going to, you've been very generous with your time. We've gone for 45 minutes, and I got to spin up a new live stream, which if you're watching and you have time, stay tuned at 11 or come on at 11. I'm going to be launching a new live stream for my best friend, my good friend, Paul Medore, called BBM Live. His middle initial is B. And so he's going to do his first rant live stream on here, and we're going to do that at 11 o'clock. So I see there's 5 people either on X or YouTube, so that's awesome. And you can comment, by the way, if you want to ask a question real quick of Neal or make a comment, and I'll see it here. I can even put it up on the screen. And Neal, you've been so kind in the pre-show to suggest that we can do this again. And I really want to go down a bunch of rabbit holes with you related to Bitcoin as currency, Bitcoin as money going into the future, because you're thinking on this from an ethical, moral, even certainly philosophical basis is, in my opinion, of critical importance to helping just the average Joe out there really appreciate what's going on here, with not just with Bitcoin, but with cryptocurrency in general, with this whole notion of stable coins as compared to CBDCs. So you got Europe kind of settling into the CBDC idea, while America seems to be politically settling into the stable coin idea, both of which make me nervous. Very nervous, especially the CBDC idea, which is central bank digital currencies. But America is kind of not pushing that as much as they are the idea of stable coins. And stable coins, I assume, correct me if I'm wrong, are crypto coins or currencies that are tied back to fiat or tied back to the dollar bill. Is that accurate? Is that what a stable coin is?
Yeah, a stable coin's pegged to the dollar.
Pegged to the dollar. So,
and my understanding is that the stable coins are basically CBDC light. You know, it's like
right. That's what
I'd
I'd read.
They say they serve the same function.
Right.
I guess I understand the importance of making this like if you're a new person, never heard of Bitcoin, and you come into the space and all you hear is this Knots core debate. All right, that's like, I'm just imagining I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't care. This isn't worth my time. I'm just done.
Right.
And like,
right.
I want to like, I want to speak to what, I'm good at. I want to like, what can I do in this fight? And I ground the why you need Bitcoin, to the metaphysical bedrock. And like, from that position, I'm trying to drive and push like a lineman. Like, I don't want my feet slipping in stupid rhetorical tricks. Like, I want my feet planted in the bedrock, so when I drive, I can actually move the ball. And I care more about onboarding 1 million families than I do about $1 million Bitcoin. I care more about killing fiat, destroying the entire central bank like paradigm, than I do about Knots and Core or this or that or what node software you were like. I don't want to lose sight of the primary mission for me, which is to not hand my girls a fiat world. I don't want them to live in fiat world. I want them to not have to be under a central bank. And
right.
That's what I want. So that's what I'm trying to drive. And the message that I want to put forward is always to that end. So it's like, if I'm talking about other things, it's like, I got to make sure I'm going there. And when I get off my skis, or like in a place that I don't know, well, I can't really serve that function if I'm all, going off into some technical details that I don't know about. It's like, I don't know, am I helping or hurting?
Sure. And so I'm drawn to so part of the point I was making when I brought up the core versus notch debate is that there's one big part of me that is drawn to Bitcoin, and it's technical. It has to do with code. It has to do with computers. It has to do with the fight. It has to do with the fight that surrounds Bitcoin. But I kind of didn't want, when I started down this road after I read your book a couple months ago, I kind of didn't want to find that Bitcoin wasn't mutable, or that it wasn't alive, or that it wasn't. I didn't want to find that it was just like set in concrete kind of thing. And so what I found was, no, it ain't set in concrete. Humanity is creating this and preserving it and maintaining it, and it not only is it technical, but it's also human. It's also very human. It fits into that first point you were making about what money is, which is, it can be anything. It can be any object. And here we have an object that is made up of electrons, which are objects. They're really tiny ones, but
Yeah, that's what I like to say. It's like, the Bitcoin is just as physical as a bar of gold. You can't conflate tangibility like with physicality. Like, it is a physical object. It is material in its nature, the same way as the bar of gold. Like, the electrons in the gold are the same electrons that are buzzing around, in an ordered circuit. It's like, that's real.
Yeah, that's right. It's real. It's a real object. And just because you can't see it, and just because even an electron microscope can't see an electron because it doesn't go down that small, can't go down that small, it's still an object.
Yeah. The circle back, that, I guess I have a lot of hope, and why I'm not a doomer when it comes to the Bitcoin core thing, or the core and the knots, because I know people are fighting. I know people are going to. I guess I just have faith and hope that we'll be able to respond to whatever actually happens. Like the quantum stuff. Like, that has to be addressed. Whenever quantum computing becomes a thing, and like, oh my gosh, the SHA 256 or whatever is breakable. It's like, okay, well then we just need a new. We just need to upgrade it. Like, upgrade that, and it's like when the upgrades align with everyone's incentives, that's when they're adopted. So it's like, it changes. Like, will the 21 million ever change? No, because that doesn't work in anyone's. It's not in the best interest of anyone that is the quote unquote honest actors, the people that are in Bitcoin, that have Bitcoin and are saving in Bitcoin. It doesn't help to, dilute myself. Like, what? So no one's going to go along with that. Like, that would be an outsider trying to break it, trying to exploit it. And it's just like, we have to defend it, and we have to maintain it, and keep each other honest in that sense, like ensuring that it stays the same. So that's why, I'm always going to err on that conservative approach. Like, if you're asking to change something, there's a high bar to do. And it's like, for me, and the little that I've done, I can't clear that bar. So I'm just not going to change.
Yeah, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I got to run to this next live stream, but I so appreciate you taking time to answer these questions. It's been a great discussion. I could go on forever, but thank you. Neal Flesher. I'm going to, so give your website real quick. For
just modernchains.com. That's where basically everything that I do is going to be right. Be there.
Modernchains.com. And I highly recommend, dear viewer, that you get a copy of his book, Broken Chains. And also, if you wanted to get a kind of introductory, entertaining book, Tell us real quick as I'll give you the last word as we wrap up about the Wizard of Oz book. What's the title and what's the general idea there?
Oh, so yeah, that's just it's like the allegorical companion to Modern Chains is the Wonderful Wizard of Lies. It's just literally the Wizard of Oz is a monetary allegory, and just updated it.
I read that. Yeah, I read that almost in one sitting. I couldn't put it down. It was really, really well done.
It was really fun to work on. Yeah. I don't know, compared to Modern Chains, which is like very heavy.
Yeah. Well, you did a great job on both of them, and I look forward to talking to you again because I want to go deeper into both of those books. So thanks for being willing, and thanks for your time this morning.
Well,
and
thanks for your
God
time.
bless.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, God bless all of you for tuning in, and I'll see you all at 11 o'clock.